Hi, welcome back to Mindful Serenity Yoga. Today we're going to begin the second session of our loving kindness meditation practice. And this time it's going to be directed towards a special loved one who we may know at this point is suffering or in need of a little extra loving kindness. So that someone can be a parent, it can be a child, it can be a partner, it can be a sibling, it can be a neighbor or a friend, or someone that may be in a special relationship with us, someone that we are extra attached to. So we can think of that individual, or we can think of maybe more than one individual at one time. In my case, I see so many suffering around me that I'm trying to incorporate them all into this visualization. And when I visualize them, I'm going to try to visualize one at a time as I say these intentions so that I'm reaching each one of them. So we can do a person or maybe more than one person who we care about, who's easy to love, easy to focus on, and who is in need of a little extra loving kindness. So that's the first part of that. We will do a guided meditation, which I will guide you towards in a minute. The second part of this is an act of connection with this individual or these individuals. So you may want to take time today to think about how you would open a conversation with this individual and reconnect physically with them, or you may decide on how you're going to write a letter to them expressing things that need to be expressed. First of all, what we want to be able to do is express it to this individual or these individuals that we know they are suffering, that we see their pain. So you want to take time to really reflect on that pain before we open the conversation with them about their pain. Secondly, we want to make them aware that we wish them well. We wish them freedom from their own suffering. We also want to ask them if they're, to make it known to them and to ourselves especially that there may have been things we've done that did not help with their suffering or maybe even increase their suffering in the past, and we may want to ask forgiveness for that. And then finally, we will want to ask them, as this is a new year, how we can best help them in 2023 with their suffering. How can we best support them and be there for them? So we will think about that before we open the conversation or write the letter. So I thought of one particular person and I wrote a letter. The third part of this conversation or this practice is to touch the earth 5 times again. We touch the earth for the first time in reference to all our ancestors, our bloodline ancestors, our parents, our grandparents and great-grandparents, and so on throughout the lineage. We thank them for all they've given us, because whatever they've done, we have within us now. We also want to touch the earth a second time to thank all ancestors in general, which would include all human beings, all beings actually, and all matter that has somehow been transposed into us as human beings. Thirdly, we touch the earth in reverence to those human beings who have gone beyond human suffering, have gone beyond the human tendency, and have reached a higher state of consciousness. And they may be teachers or religious figures like Christ or Buddha, or Muhammad, or Shiva, or Krishna, or whatever your religious affiliation, or it could be other individuals that you can think of that have transcended. And we touch the earth in reverence to them, and also in the hope that someday we too may reach that higher state of consciousness. Fourthly, we touch the earth in reverence of the earth and all it has given us. Gratitude and reverence for the air and for the water and for trees and flowers and mountains and the beautiful planet that we have been born on, and how lucky we are to be on this planet, and grateful for all it has given us and continues to give us. Fifthly, we touch the earth asking for forgiveness for what we as a human race have done to this beautiful planet and to this beautiful earth, and what we may have done to others while we walked upon it. And when we're talking about forgiveness, we're going to also ask for the ability to forgive those who have trespassed against us and who we may be still holding grudges against, or who we not find that easy to love for the things they've done or haven't done. So we are, again, touching the earth as a part of our practice. Now we're ready for the guided practice. I'm going to use a mala again, but again, you do not have to use a mala. You can just focus on your breath going in, your breath going out. I like to use the mala, as I've expressed before, because I like the feel of the beads in my hands as I take an in-breath, and then I move it on to the out-breath. So it helps me to count and stay focused as I'm meditating. So that's why I like the mala. I also like the significance of the lotus flower roots that are on each mala. And they, of course, signify how we as human beings can grow to a higher state of consciousness through our challenges and through our so-called suffering or dukkha. Just like the lotus flower grows in mud, we can grow through the muddiness of our own lives. And that, to me, is a great reminder as I hold on to this and do one of my grounding breaths. Some of these malas, as I've said, have 109 beads. They may have a guru bead above the lotus flower, and the guru bead is supposed to be, once again, in reference to those ascended beings who have gone before us, and in the hope that we too may reach some similar state of consciousness someday. So what I do is I want you to, first of all, find a place to sit as free from distractions as possible. Again, you're not going to be able to eliminate everything, but try to find an area where you can be as free from distractions and interruptions as possible. And maybe put away your cell phones and all those things that may tempt you to lose your focus. Of course, life is going to be life around us as we meditate, and sounds may come in, interruptions may come in. I'm just going to ask you to incorporate those willingly and allowingly as a part of your practice rather than struggle and resist them. So we're going to allow all the things that life brings with us into this practice as we do in everyday life. We're going to open up and be willing and allowing. I want you to sit upright instead of sitting on the cushion with your cross-legged position, which is a posture in itself that may take some time to master. I'm going to try to get you to master this before you master that. So I'm going to encourage you to sit in a chair with your sits bones firmly planted on the chair. Sit away from the back of the chair so you're not tempted to slouch or slump. I want your feet firmly planted on the ground, and I want you to be able to feel the connection of your soles of your feet with the earth. So we are also going to either close our eyes or relax our gaze. Whether or not you relax your gaze, it's up to you. I like to close my eyes because it helps to eliminate more of that visual distraction. Some people like to keep their eyes open. In some Tibetan practices, for example, would encourage the eyes open so that we do not disconnect fully from life. We allow life and the world around us to come into our practice. So whatever you choose to do is up to you. What I'm going to get you to do is keep your palms with your palms facing up towards the ceiling, hands on the thighs of your legs. And if you're using a mala, remember you're just going to breathe in with one bead. Breathe out with the next bead as you gently move the mala along. We're going to start, however, with 2 grounding breaths. So if you're using a mala, the first breath would be the lotus flower. The second breath would be while you're holding on to the guru bead if you have one. If not, you just hold on to the lotus breath for 2. That again is if you're using a mala, which you do not have to use. I'm going to get your position. You're just going to close your eyes or relax your gaze. For the first breath, we're going to feel the belly rising on the inhale for 4 counts. You feel the natural pause between the in-breath and the out-breath, and then you're going to exhale for 6 counts, feeling the belly descend. Natural pause between the out-breath and the in-breath, moving your hand along the beads if you have them. Breathing in for an in-breath for 4 counts. Breathing out on an exhale for 6 counts. Just mentally to yourself. Again, feel the natural pause as you move your fingers along. If you're using a mala bead, we'll be starting the 108 count now. So holding on to one mala, we're going to take a breath in without forcing or controlling, just noticing the breath going in as the belly expands. Feel that natural pause between the in and the out breath as the belly falls and you move your fingers to the next bead. Natural pause between the out and the next in breath, moving your fingers. And the pause before moving your fingers to the exhale. Breathing in on the next beat. Just noticing the breath, not forcing or controlling, and exhaling, breathing out. Moving the fingers, feeling the beads within your fingers, the sensation of the beads as you breathe in, just noticing your breath going in. And as you breathe out, feel the bead, the next beat in your fingers as your belly descends. Not forcing or controlling the breath, just being aware of every in-breath, being aware of every out-breath. Feeling the bead between our fingertips if we're using a mala on every in-breath. Feel the fingers moving to the next beat on every exhale. Feeling the mala between the fingertips as the belly descends. Noticing the pause between the in and the out breath. Noticing the pause between the out and the next in-breath. Like the garland that you're holding on to, the mala garland you're holding on to, breath is circular, always coming and going and coming again. As you continue to focus on the breath coming in and the breath coming out, and the movement of the mala between your fingers, if you have a mala, I'm going to recite the intentions we have for the others. I want you to focus on somebody you love who may be suffering, or some individuals you love that may be suffering. Visualize them as much as you can in your mind's eye, in a way that is comfortable and real to you. Visualize yourself approaching them in a way that is comfortable and real to you. Maybe you are hugging them. Maybe you're picking them up. Maybe you're rocking them. Again, this could be an animal. It can be a small child or an animal. Breathing in awareness, feel the bead between your fingers as you visualize this person. Breathing out, softening in the body as you visualize this person, feeling the bead, the next bead between your fingertips. Now, you're going to say this individual's name. If it's more than one individual, you're going to try to visualize yourself saying this to each one as you call their names. May you, the person you're visualizing, be peaceful and light in body and mind. Just continue to move your fingers along as you hear these mantras. Breathing in, you're aware you're breathing in. Breathing out, you're aware you're breathing out as you visualized your loved one in your mind's eye. May you, again, say their name in your mind, be safe and free from accidents. Breathing in, you feel your breath breathing in. Breathing out, you feel your breath going out. Breathing in, the feel of one mala in your fingertips. Breathing out, feeling the mala in the other fingertips, or the next mala. Noticing the pause between each bead. Noticing the pause between each in and out breath, between each out and next in breath. Again, visualize your loved one. Say their name again. May you be free from anger, fear, and any of the other unwholesome mental traits. Again, their name. May you know how to look at yourself with understanding and compassion. Breathing in, you're aware you're breathing in. Feel the mala bead in your hand. Breathing out, you're aware you're breathing out as you move the mala along. Again, say their name. May you learn to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness within yourself. their name. May you learn to nourish yourself with joy each day. Breathing in, you feel the mala between your fingertips. Breathing out, you're moving to the next mala. Noticing the pause that's very natural between the in-breath and the out-breath, between the out-breath and the next in-breath. Not forcing or controlling the breath, just observing as we listen. May you learn to live fresh and solid and free. Visualize yourself holding that loved one, hugging that loved one, or simply being beside that loved one, whatever feels comfortable to you. You may even imagine them as a child if that helps. May you again say their name. Cultivate freedom from indifference, attachment, and aversion. Breathing in, you feel the mala between your fingertips. Breathing out, you feel the next bead. Noticing the pause between the in and the out, between one mala to the next. Feeling the belly expand on every in-breath. Feel it gently fall on every out-breath. We'll repeat the intentions again. Again, visualize your loved one or loved ones. May you, say the name, be peaceful and light in body and mind. As you continue to breathe and move the mala. May you be safe and free from accidents. May you be free from anger, fear, and any of the other unwholesome mental states. May you learn to look at yourself with eyes of compassion and understanding. May you be able to recognize and touch the seeds of happiness and joy within yourself. May you learn to nourish joy inside yourself each day. May you learn to be fresh and solid and free. May you cultivate freedom from indifference, from attachment, and from aversion. Just breathe, focusing on breath as these mantras and this visualization settles into your core. Moving your fingers along with every in-breath and every out-breath. Not forcing or controlling, just allowing the breath to do what breath does as these intentions sink in. Feel your heart opening. Feel your heart releasing. Feel your heart healing and extending with arms of love and compassion and kindness towards these individuals you're visualizing. When you finish your visualization, just bring your fingers back to the guru bead. When you finish the rotation, allow all beads to be a part of your practice. If you have a mala, breathing in for the count of 4 breaths. Feel the belly expand. Pause naturally, and then release that breath for 6 counts. Feel the belly fall and relax. Moving the fingers to the lotus flower, again being aware of the significance, the reminder that we all can transform into a higher state of consciousness through our suffering, that this individual can transcend their suffering for a higher state of well-being. Breathing in for 4 counts. pausing naturally and breathing out for 6 counts. Feel the sits bones beneath your feet, beneath your butt. The chair beneath your sits bones. The floor beneath the soles of your feet. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes and move your shoulders around. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can lift your gaze or open your eyes and look about you. Don't forget the other second parts after this. Please write a letter or open up a conversation, a prepared conversation with your loved one, and go touch the earth 5 times. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. May you be surrounded with loving kindness. Namaste.